on this computer. Yes. Okay. So then when she started with her value pack, she really got the full-blown experience. Her background is she played goalkeeper for University of Virginia and Nebraska. She was an All-American goalkeeper. She has a master's degree in education. She was drafted into the 2001 first ever women's professional league here in the U.S. I mean, this lady is an athlete. New York Power was the name of the team, and then she was traded to the Boston Breakers, where she played for a season. Knee problems and ready to get back into her coaching career made her professional career short-lived. She coached soccer for 10 years. She was head coach for 5 years at Iowa State University. And then she resigned after 10 years, which I love, to become a mama and start a family. So she is with Isagenix. She is a crystal executive. They have 2 centers. They're building one under her husband and one under her. And I mean, she's pretty amazing. So what I'll tell you my experience is that I met Rebecca and her husband, John, at the Welcome Home Challenge in Arizona. And when I saw her, I was like, you look incredible. And she's just so sweet. And we got to talking, and I really got to know her. And I just think she's an amazing lady. And I think her story is going to resonate with so many of you guys, because this is just an ordinary person who just decided to freaking go for it. You know, whether it was marriage or motherhood or a career, she didn't let any of that stop it. And she used Isagenix to not only fuel her body, but to really fuel her business. So, I mean, she received her pro card, which I love. And this mom of 3 is like kicking ass in fitness competitions and professional figure competitions, which is crazy to me, because you know, you think you're a mother, you're like, forget it, life goes on, pass me the whiskey. But it's not really like that. And she's just incredible. Not only did she receive her International Federation for Physique Athletes card, it's your professional card to compete, but she also placed 5th. She qualified for Team Isagenix, which is a very elite group of athletes that you know, represent Isagenix. This is like the creme de la creme of the crew, you know. And she received honorable mention for an IsaBody finalist in 2016. So welcome, without further ado. Welcome, Becky.
Welcome. I'm so excited to be on the call.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you. I've been wanting to do this for so long.
Oh, well, I am just honored, and I just wanted to jump on, and I love sharing my story, because it's not just about energy and performance. I mean, I don't know if you can show my before picture. Can you show that at all, Angela?
Yes, absolutely. Let me do a screen share.
Okay.
Can everyone see my screen? Can you see my screen, Rebecca?
I can see it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone can see it too.
Okay, awesome. All right. So, you know, when I first got started, I look at that first picture, and actually there's another picture I think that you have of me looking down, and it's even earlier in my journey before I started. I'll show you which one. It's that one right there. Go down a little. Oh, yep, there you go. The one with June 2009.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's September 2013. That's kind of towards the beginning of my journey. You can tell just looking down. And that's actually when I was right there, Chunky Monkey, June 2009. I started at 190 pounds when I started with Isagenix, when I did my first nutritional cleansing program. And it was one of those pictures I did for the Face Friday, the June 2009 picture. Anyways, you know, I was just a tired mama, and I really didn't know, I just didn't feel good. And I really thought Isagenix, having been an athlete all my life, can you hear me well?
Perfect.
Okay. Having been an athlete all my life, I had so many products thrown at me, you know, and stuff that was free when I was playing professional soccer. And I had tried so many different shakes from different companies that when my friend came to me about isogenics when I was pregnant, I really wasn't interested at all. But she told me, and it was somebody that I cared about, and she said, this protein is different. It's really going to be great. And at the time, I joined Isogenics because I wanted to have a good protein shake instead of a whole pizza. I figured it would be healthier, and if it was a quality protein shake, then my body would know the difference. So when my son was born, he's now 4 years old. When he was born, Eli, the doctor looked at me because he had been a part of the birthing process for my first 2 children. He said, "What did you do different this time?" Well, I have a blood clotting disorder, so I had really bad pregnancies, my first 2. And I said, well, what do you mean? What did I do different? I don't know, maybe I walked more, or I don't know, why, is he okay? And the doctor said, well, your placenta looks better than the last 2 pregnancies. Like, you just have such a healthy placenta. And I thought, well, that's cool. But what does this mean? So I thought, I'm going to research this a little bit more, but I just didn't want to have anything to do with the business. I didn't have any interest in that. I had never had any experience in network marketing at all. Yeah. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about it, but then I nursed my son for 11 months. So I continued with just having shakes and bars and vitamins, and that's it. So don't ever underestimate the power of the shake or the bar or vitamins. If people are not ready to be all in with a system, then you have to meet them where they're at, because I would never be where I'm at today. However, when I had a system, it's when I did a 30-day system that my life changed forever, because I thought I did it to lose weight. I wanted to lose 15 to 20 pounds. I just didn't feel good. But for me, it was about weight loss and trying to get my sexy back, or just trying to get my healthy back. Yeah. After I went through that first 30-day system, what was life-changing for me was that I have had 6 knee surgeries, and I'm bone on bone on one of my knees. And I also I've had doctors go in and drill holes in my knee because I don't have a PCL ligament. So they were trying to create some growth and blood to that area. It was just bad. And so I was in discomfort for years, for 10 years. The whole coaching career, everything, I was in discomfort. And after that first 30-day system, I had lost 2 inches around my knee, and I was able to be active again. And that created freedom for me, because I was able to crawl around and chase my kids. My quality of life changed. So my friend kept on listening to me, and I think it's really important that you listen to what people say, because I kept on saying, I want to be home with my kids. I was coaching nights from 4 o'clock till 10 o'clock at night, youth soccer, because you have to coach kids after they get home from school. So I said, oh gosh, I know a lot of people, and my friend kept on inviting me to things, and I just blew her off. I mean, she invited me for a year every time to happy, healthy hours or this and that, and I didn't want to have anything to do with sharing this with my friends and family. But what I didn't realize, that every single person that's on this call is involved in sales of some sort. And for me, I was recruiting 16-year-olds to go to a university to play college soccer, and I was recruiting them into my vision for playing soccer for a program that was at the bottom of the Big 12 conference. But I told them where we were going and how we were going to do it and how they were going to be a part of that. And I just shared my vision with them. So now I learned that that's what I do with Isogenics. But people have to see, everybody's got to sign in it of what's in it for them. And I really just learned that when I had a major change in how I felt, people started to ask. And it's just really a gift. And when I got away from selling it, but actually learning that it was a gift to share with people, it just changed everything for me.
I wish that compliance wasn't an important issue, because I hear stories like yours all the time where people can say, Lord, I feel things that I haven't felt in aging,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So tell me, can you hear me? I hear a lot of static on my end.
I can hear you. It's not super clear, but I can hear you.
I don't know why it's so staticky on my end.
Now it's good.
It's okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, I think for many of us, we forget that we all look for business builders, but what we genuinely forget is that had it not been for product users, none of us would be here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I love that it took you. I'm going to try to mute and unmute. Can you hear me now clear? Okay, I don't know if it was my line that was making that noise, but I don't hear the static anymore. But I think you made a wonderful point. You've tried a lot of things. People have tried to pitch you a lot of different things. And this is someone who you knew, who you loved, who you trusted, and you said, you know what, I'll give it a try. I'm looking for protein anyway. She met you where you were at. She didn't force a president's pack on you. You were still breastfeeding. You were just, you know, dabbling with the shakes until you were ready. And when you did, you experienced such results that, you know, it was those results that get people open to sharing. I think that a lot of us feel nervous approaching people who perhaps might be in better shape than us, or have more of a medical mindset than we do, or have more protein knowledge or better athletic performance. What would you say to someone about approaching athletes and just not having to be an expert and not being scared? Because I had a nutritionist look at this and say, are you kidding me? Do you see all the ingredients? And I was like so scared, like I didn't know how to respond. I was now I know how to respond. But, you know, back then it's scary when someone who's more knowledgeable than you, like, you know, that you have to approach them.
Yes. And I think that's the case for me too, Angela. I mean, I'm not a nutritionist and I'm not an expert in the field. Obviously, I have a lot of great experience with, you know, being an elite athlete. And I think a lot of people are intimidated by maybe, you know, talking to somebody of that nature. But
Yes.
I think it's so important just to share stories. You know, if we can't relate to that person, then we need to share a story that relates to that person. So maybe somebody might not be as fit, like you might not be as fit as somebody that you're trying to share Isogenics with. So then share with them stories and get to know the stories on Team Isogenics. Talk about the people and be able to drop some of the names of the people that are using these products. And say, you know, I know that I might not be in as great as, just be super real. I know I'm not an elite athlete like you are, Angela, but what I can tell you is that I have a friend that uses these products and she's a physique pro and she absolutely loves how it works for her because it's so easy to incorporate into your lifestyle. And I think the biggest thing that a lot of people, when people are competing at the level that maybe I might be, or they might be a college athlete or an Olympic athlete, or just somebody that really is very, very exact about their nutrition and they actually count their macronutrients, and that's something that I do. It works. Isogenics works perfectly because I actually pick my shakes out easily, and it makes my meal prep, like it cuts down the time in half. So the biggest thing that I would say is, you know, asking people, how do you track your nutrients, or how do you do that? Because I know that a lot of people are very precise with how they do that. And they might say, well, I track my macros, or yes, I track my calories or my proteins, my carbs, and my fats. That's what I mean when I say macronutrients. Yeah. And say, well, that's going to be perfect for you because Isogenics works really great with that. You can plug it right in. I use an app called MyFitnessPal, and it's going to save you a ton of time. So instead of having to meal prep 6 or 8 meals a day, now you can use Isogenics and you'll cut your time in half. And I think that for people that are competitors like myself, it makes life so much easier and convenient.
Yeah, and you know what, Becky? For an average Joe Schmo like me, what I tell competitors is, if it's good enough for them, why shouldn't it be good enough for us?
Absolutely.
That's what I tell all my moms. I said, look, there are athletes, there are Olympians, there are professional competitors that are using this stuff. Why the heck shouldn't we? It's, they're putting the best nutrition in their body.
Yep. Yep. And it's, the cool thing about it is that, it's so free of all the other stuff in it. Like it doesn't have, it's just such a clean product.
Yeah.
And if you can see people that are winning everything in all these different categories and they're just blowing it up,
Yeah.
from the, the figure and the bikini and the physique world, but then you also see these elite athletes that if Olympic athletes can take these products, the Olympic Committee is the most strict out of all the committees in the world. So NCAA isn't even as strict as the Olympic Committee. So if it can pass into the Olympic Committee's standards for Olympic athletes, then it's going to be fine for everybody, anybody that's in athletics. And I think that's the standard, the Olympic standard. It's huge. And I compete in a natural federation, so I can use every single product because it's completely the purest of products.
It's all natural. So, what do you think makes our products so much more different than anything else? Is it the quality? Is it the company? What sets Isagenix apart from others?
Well, I tell you what, I kind of want to share my experience competing before the energy and performance line and after the energy and performance line. And then also talk about nutritional cleansing a little bit, because that's what sets Isagenix apart for me, other than any other company. And, I've competed numerous times, actually. I competed before I had kids when I was 28 years old, when I was at Iowa State University before kids. And I placed. I didn't win. Gosh, if I could throw that picture at you, I just wasn't as lean, as tight. I was thicker, held a lot of muscle, but that was before kids. Then I competed again when my son was only 1 year old, and I placed in a figure competition, was still kind of soft, a little bit thick. This was before the amped line came out. And I had a trainer that said, no nutritional cleansing. Don't cleanse while you're in prep. So I didn't. Now, then you fast forward to 2016, those pictures that you showed. I started my prep in January, and on January 14th or 15th, I was at New Year's kickoff, and they introduced the amped line. I started using all the amped products, and I incorporated nutritional cleansing for 2 days a month. Every other week, I did at least 1 day, a 1-day cleanse or an 18-hour cleanse. The addition of cleansing, as well as the amped products. So before I placed, but this year in 2016, I actually won my pro card in May, and I placed 5th out of 15 people in September for my first pro show and qualified for world championships. Huge difference my body had with the amped products. I was able to get leaner. I was able to push through my workouts. My body was able to recover like I never felt, compared to other athletes that are on my team that don't use Isagenix. I mean, we have a nutrition coach. They would be exhausted. They would be just not feeling good going into their competitions. And I felt amazing. And right now, to this day, I'm only 9 pounds up from stage, whereas a lot of people are 15 to 20 or 30 pounds up from where they competed on stage. I've been able to stay lean and strong and not balloon up after the show. So that's a huge change from other people that are not using Isagenix.
Yeah. Sounds like you have an advantage.
Huge advantage. And I felt really great going into it. I didn't deprive my body. I had Isodelites every day. So I felt good.
So can I ask you, just to give us layman, just correct me if I'm wrong. The amped power is a pre-workout supplement, and it gets your body strong and powerful before the workout. That consists of creatine and arginine that opens up the blood cells. Am I saying this right?
Yeah, it's so great that you asked me that, because you know, I could say scientific this and that, and that's not what I'm an expert in. What I can tell you is how it works on my body. When I go in and do a workout, I can push through those extra reps. If I had to do 12 repetitions
Yes.
at a certain amount of weight, I can do more weight and I can get all 12 reps in. It just makes me more explosive and more powerful. Thus the word amped power. So think powerful. It's going to help you push through the workout. And when people can do more weight and push through their repetitions, they're going to gain strength, which is also going to help increase muscle mass.
Yeah,
So
I don't know about powerful, but the first time I tried it, Ed Golden was with me, and I went from bench pressing 60 to 90, and I told him, I feel like freaking Hulk right now. I'm like, I don't know what they put in this stuff. I'm like, don't get offended if I rip my shirt off right now. Like, it just, I felt so strong with the amped. It was crazy, but no jitters, no racing heart, just really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible. So then we have another product, and it's called Nox.
Yep.
And Nox is also a pre-workout shot to support nitric oxide production so that you can train harder and longer. Do you know a little bit about the Nox? What the heck is
I do. Yep, I use that, and I think that really helps for blood flow. Like, I can really feel that my body, and I can see it too, because when I'm leaner, I can just see my veins more. Like, I feel like it's just getting a better pump, but it really just helps push the blood around where you feel better throughout your workout. And, you know, that's not something, Angela, that you have to take right before workout. You can actually take that within 24 hours of your workout. It's something that kind of stays in your body for 24 hours. So if I work out, oftentimes I work out at 5 a.m., I could take that the night before and it's still in my body really good. I don't have to take it right before. A lot of people just do that for overall health and good circulation. You know, I know this sounds really crazy, but I do have an in-law that actually gives it to her husband, and it helps his blood flow in a certain area, if you know what I mean, you know?
Isn't that fun? Husband, you're getting a little Nox tonight.
So, yeah, I am blushing right now, but.
Oh, these are normal conversations on our team.
Okay.
We're from the East Coast. Don't worry. You fit right in, girl.
I love the East Coast. So yeah, it's just really good, I think, for blood flow. Another thing that I think it really helps me too is when I do HIIT, high intensity interval training, that's really, really intense in your blood. You just need that flow. And I think that also has helped with that, I've noticed.
Awesome. Tonight we're going to see a lot of those memes on Facebook. It's honey, get the Nox. So then we have Amped Fuel. And this is mid-workout gel to sustain energy and fuel your body for sustained endurance. And I see a lot of our runners. I know like Katie, Alina, Vanessa. I see them with those packets. I think Tammy. And I feel like they're good for a long-distance run, yeah? To give you like more fuel mid-exercise.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I didn't use the fuel for a very long time, but since I started waking up at 5 a.m. to get my workouts in, I don't want to get the oatmeal, or didn't really know what to eat. And rather than having applesauce or oatmeal or something like that, I thought, I'm going to try this Amped Fuel. So I gave that a try, and I feel like my body's able to use that a lot faster than food if I wanted to do it pre-workout. So I don't do it during my workout, but when I work out for 90 minutes, even just for a 90-minute workout, I'm doing 20 minutes a HIIT workout, and I'm doing pretty strong workouts with lifting, and I feel that it sustains me and gives me the energy to get through it. So I use it as food. Obviously, marathoners, they're going to be running out of that energy and need it mid-race, but I also think it's been great for me for my strength.
Do you use all of these products for every single workout, or do you use certain products for certain workouts? Someone is asking.
That's a great question. I don't use fuel all the time unless I have a longer workout, or if I've been lower carbs on one day and I feel like I need a little bit more energy. So fuel is not something I use daily, but I do Nox every day. I do Amped Power every day, and I do E-shots every day. And then I also, after my workout, I always do Recover.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Leanne says that her blood sugar drops sometimes during her workouts, so she uses the fuel to prevent that from happening.
That's super. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think that's great. It's a nice steady fuel.
yeah.
And it doesn't run out. So I think that's really good. Yeah.
Awesome. And then recover. Can you I have no idea what branch chain amino acids are, but
Mhm.
all I know is that when I am like so sore and my thighs are like hurting and I can't feel my biceps anymore, my husband says, drink the recover. And I don't
Mhm.
know what the heck it does, but I drink the recover.
Well, our bodies are breaking down every time we work out. And it's funny because my husband gives me a hard time. He's like, yeah, you go to work out to change your body, but you're going to beat yourself up all the time. Thus, if I'm sick, he's like, why are you going to work out? Because you're breaking your body down. And that's really what we are, but to grow stronger. So the branch chain amino acids go in there and they definitely help repair what's broken down. So I guess I use it as it's what our body needs to go in and fix the damage that's been done to help it so it recovers faster. I notice a huge difference when I don't have it right after my workout. And I take it immediately within 15 minutes. I'll throw it in. I love it in a vanilla isoline pro. I put the recover, and I also put sometimes I put some ionics in there. I just am a fan of ionics, and I take it 2 to 3 times a day. It is my go-to, and I'll add it with a shake. I'll do it before I go to bed, and I'll do it first thing when I wake up in the morning. But not everybody takes it 3 times a day. The recover is fantastic after a workout. And it's also great if you don't want to put it in your shake, then you can just drink it alone with water.
I actually love the idea of putting it in your shake because it was
Awesome.
not as sweet as the power.
Mm-hmm.
The power tastes nice and raspberry. The recover is not as sweet. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care for the taste. But now that you're saying just to dump it in the chocolate shake, I mean, as long as you're getting it in, doesn't matter how.
I don't put it in my chocolate because I don't know how chocolate and raspberry lemonade tastes, but I put it in strawberry, vanilla, um, you
Yeah.
know, the vanilla, French vanilla. I like the taste of it.
Yeah, awesome. Are you using the Isopro or do you use the regular shakes?
I use all 3 kinds of the shakes.
Yeah.
Isoline Pro and the Isoline Pro and the Isoline just is based upon what my macros are for the day. So I have a certain amount of proteins, carbs, and fats I have to hit. But I will tell you this, I usually have 2 to 3 shakes a day.
Yeah.
So today it was 1 Isoline Pro and 2 Isolines. And then I had some healthy snacks and a couple of meals as well. I mean, I'm taking in 2,500 calories right now, so it's a lot of food. So 3 shakes just makes my life easy. The Isopro, I love before I go to bed with Ionic Supreme.
Awesome.
I mix
Girls,
it with
I mean, she
Ionics.
works out like an animal. I don't want my girls going home eating 2,500 calories
No,
tomorrow. This is not
no,
for all of us.
and I have a lot of muscle in my body, and I also weigh 155 right now. So I'm 5'9", I weigh 155. So I have to feed that muscle, and my metabolism is just really high.
Awesome.
But for most people, Isopro is fantastic post-workout. I love it right after a workout, and I'll throw my recover in that. So that's great just to get the straight whey protein. And it's also fantastic right before bed for the bedtime belly buster.
Tammy has been trying to get her macros. Tammy, My Fitness Pal, you can literally program it to what you need. Is that what you were asking? Tammy said how many shakes a day. She's been trying to get her macros in order, but has been having a super hard time. But I see that if you go to Fitness Pal, you can literally just plug in how much fat, how much protein, exactly where you want your macros to be. Do you have something more specific, Tammy? Maybe I didn't understand. Do you want to ask Rebecca a question? Yeah, hold on. Okay, go ahead. Tammy just hit 4-star, by the way, everyone. Wow, from corporate.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. So I was just wondering, I am trying to, get in all my fats, proteins, and I use my Fitness Pal. So I don't know. I'm just trying to find the right snacks and everything, and then wondering if I use Isopro, I use Isoline. So I like that you said that you did 3 shakes a day, and that's okay to do?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, I do, because, and my coach doesn't use Isogenics. And when I met him, I just said, you know what? I really love you and I think you're amazing, but I'm not going to go with you if you don't let me use Isogenics. I said, that's a deal breaker for me. And he said, all right. So I'm pretty soon he's going to be on our team. But he said, you know what? He said, the more I research about this, the more I think that this is an amazing company and the products are working for you, and, do whatever you need to do. So even when it gets too close to a show, he'll tell people not to take, have any protein shakes. And I had protein shakes all the way up until my day of my show. I only adjusted the kind of the shakes I had based upon how many carbs or fats I could have. So if I had less protein on a day, then I would probably have an Isoline shake instead of an Isoline Pro, because it's 12 grams less protein. So I always plug in my shakes first because I love them and they're easy and they make me feel good. And then I plug in my food. So, I don't know if you have somebody that's giving you your macros. Do you have somebody giving you your macros? Perfect.
I do. I had a nutritionist as well that said, yeah, don't use our products. And I said, well, that's not going to happen. So my trainer.
Mine told me to use Progenics, and I got rid of her 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
I did too. So.
I mean, that was a good tip, Tammy. What I like what Rebecca said, plug in your shakes first.
Okay,
and what you have left and kind of go from there. That made a lot of sense to me, because there's some things that I'm not willing to give up. And 2 shakes a day for me is definitely it.
Yeah.
And Tammy, one other tip that I have for you is that I do not count my Ionic Supreme, my Cleanse for Life, my E-shots. My Recover. Those are everyday things that I do, so they're not going to change. So I'm consistent. I don't put them in my Fitness Pal. They might be 5 carbs here, 3 carbs there, whatever. They're a consistent thing for me. I don't count them. But if I counted them one day and then didn't count them the next, then I'm going to be inconsistent with my macros. So I just always decided I'm not going to count them, but what I do count is my food.
That's good to know, Rebecca, because I have about 6 of these puppies a day. So I want to ask.
Thank you so much.
Tell me how you coach your clients. I know that, I know how hard you work out. I know that a lot of people who are starting the program are 30 pounds overweight, 50 pounds overweight, and honestly don't enjoy working out, don't have the time to work out. And I love Isogenics because it's going to give people the results without ever stepping into the gym. But, the exercise is wonderful and it's helpful, but we understand that nutrition is such a big part of it. How do you help people that kind of get into a plateau?
Well, I think that, there's so many people, Angela, that also don't feel good enough to work out when they get started. And so I just really make sure to let them know my story is unique to me. And just because I'm a professional athlete doesn't mean that you need to think that you have to follow my plan. Everybody's individual. So I ask them, do you desire to work out? Do you like to? Because some people don't even want to work out.
Yeah.
They just want to feel good. And then all of a sudden they start feeling good and they're like, well, I want to start walking, or I want to start doing whatever. So I just tell them, I share stories with them. I find out, first of all, whether they like exercise or what they like to do, and have they been active before? Do they desire? Because it's really important to find out what their goals are. If they desire, if they miss their body and being active like they used to. I mean, here I was 190 pounds and I used to be a professional soccer player, and I lost myself and I wanted to be found again. So I didn't know that I could be that athlete again. And so if somebody would have had that conversation with me, they would have heard a longing to actually be an athlete again. And they would have known that they could have gotten me there. But you have to just find out what somebody's goals are. And if they're not interested in exercising, then you have to say, you know what, 90% of it is nutrition. So what you're going to find is that your body is going to start feeling differently. And when you start feeling differently, you might have more energy and you might feel different than you've ever felt before, because we're bringing you back to feeling the way you should be before all these things in life messed up your body. So when we can start making you feel better, you might feel like exercising, or you might feel like walking. So when you do, we'll get there and we'll help you through that. But right now, let's just get you feeling good. Yeah. And that's just the bottom line is really just helping people feel better and finding out what their goals are.
Yeah, I love that. And it's just kind of loving on them wherever they are. Mm-hmm. You know, and I say, you know, you never know. When you lose 15 pounds in 30 days, you might feel so awesome. You'll want to go take the stroller and go for a walk. Yeah, exactly. What are some remedies or nutritional tricks to get somebody unstuck from a plateau?
To add more protein.
Protein.
To switch to Isolene Pro. I like mixing up. One other thing that we've noticed with some people is mixing up the cleansing, where they are, instead of just doing 2-day cleanses, 2-day cleanses, 2-day cleanses, sometimes that mentally drags on people too a little bit. Yeah. So I tell people to do every other week. Every other week. So do it 1 week, give your body a break. Then do it the next week, give your body a break. Yeah. Some people try to do 6 days in a month, and you know, their body kind of doesn't, like, you want to kind of manipulate the body and trick it. It's kind of like, even for me preparing for the stage, my nutrition changes on a weekly basis. I think, Tammy, you can probably relate to that too. Your macros change all the time. I might go high carbs for a couple of days and then lower carbs one day, just because it just changes the body and it makes it work differently. So I think the same thing with cleansing. If somebody's going through a plateau, is having them do a 2-day cleanse and then having a break, having another 2-day cleanse 1 week and then having a break, or having them switch to 1-day cleanses every once in a while, or 18-hour cleanses. One thing that I haven't talked about that I think is really important for a lot of athletes, or just people that want to mix up the cleansing, is that I do a modified cleanse regularly. I haven't done a 2-day cleanse for a while, and I hate to admit that, but I love cleansing and how it makes me feel. So, and I go through cleanse like no other, but this is how I cleanse. I start at nighttime. So if my meal is at 5 o'clock, then I will have 2 scoops of cleanse, because I do the powder cleanse, 3 hours after my last meal. Let's say 8 o'clock at night. I'll wake up in the morning. I'll have another 2 scoops of cleanse with my Ionics. I mix it together. And then an hour later, I have my Ice of Delight. An hour later, I have my Ice of Snack. And then I do 2 more scoops of cleanse. So I will get in.
We go from 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. the next day?
About 5 o'clock p.m. the next day. And I'll have a shake.
And then a shake. Oh, that's wonderful.
And then if I'm hungry again, I'll have another shake before bed, or I'll have Isopro. So I'll end the day with 2 shakes, an Isolene shake or an Isolene Pro at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock at night. And then I'll have maybe 1 scoop of Isopro before I go to bed. But at least my body now has gone through those sugars for the first 12 hours from 8 o'clock till 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm still getting in some fat burning. But I had a great conversation with Dr. Michael Colgan when I was at one of the events. And he told me that that was absolutely fantastic for getting the body into balance, the circadian rhythm, for sleep, for hormones, for fat burning. And I still didn't do the 24-hour, but it was still fantastic for my body, especially for the kind of training that I'm going through. I hope that helps.
I'm like mid-sneeze. I'm so terribly sorry. You know what? I think it's very helpful, especially for somebody who comes onto the program and says, I'm nervous, I'm terrified, I can't cleanse. It's a great way for me to support them and encourage them to give it a try. I'll say, look, have your dinner at 5. Let's just have a serving. You'll wake up. When you wake up, look, you're not hungry. Start with a cleanse. I'll be with you. We'll talk it out through lunch. Have another cleanse. 4 o'clock. If you feel great, keep it going. If you don't,
yes,
with a shake. But it's a good way for me to take a client's hand and say, technically, you're not even going 24-hour, girl. Like, if you go to the mall and you're shopping for shoes, you can go longer than that without eating.
Amen. You know, Angela, because I'm in my off season, I'm not like specific where I have to train 7 days a week. So if I feel like it mentally, then I keep going. I'm like, okay, I got through this day. I'm going to give myself a hot bubble bath, get some Ionics and a chocolate, and go to bed, because I know how good it is for my body. And I will tell you, sitting here, I love cleansing and I love our products, but I have a hard time with 48 hours. And so sometimes people do.
Yeah.
Sometimes people do. So if you can give them this option, they might embrace it and completely fall in love with it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to embrace it tomorrow, actually.
Good.
It's not too late for me. And I think it might help me kick this cold. But it's a wonderful tip. I'm going to start utilizing the Ionics 3 times a day. I think that's a great tip. But, you know, I think most important is that you came on really just to improve your life and feel better. You had no idea in the beginning that this was going to not only get you in the best shape of your life, get you back into competitions at the age of 41, which is incredible. Your placenta's healthier now. Hello. You know? So tell me a little bit about the business, because I know that a lot of us here really want to stay home with our kids. We want to change the world. We want to retire early. Maybe we want to keep our husband from working that second job. You are with Lynn Hagedorn and Michael Klaus. And for those of you guys that don't know them, I mean, Lynn is this crazy-haired, curly lady who put out that compensation plan video. Who do you know? Who do you know? And that was the first thing that I watched when I decided to do the business. And it made sense to me. It just clicked for me. And Michael Klaus, who I admire him so much. I will watch anything that I can find on him on YouTube because his advice is so simple and practical. I'm like, Michael, how do I lead my team? How do I become a better leader? And he'll say, would you carry your kids in your arms until they're 15? And I'm like, no. He's like, let them go. The advice is just so useful and practical. So what was the most valuable advice that you've learned along the way from Lynn and Michael in particular?
You know, I just think not trying to overcomplicate things. We have so many systems in place, and just really understanding that whatever we do has to be something that somebody else can walk away and say, I can do that. And so if we have a meeting, like I just came here from a happy, healthy hour, and it was the first one that somebody on my team, it was her very first one. And I didn't want to go into ingredients. Somebody even asked me about ingredients, and I said, I don't know. Here, look at the label. All I can tell you is this is how it makes me feel. And so even with me and my background, you'd think that I would know every ingredient in these products, and I don't. And I don't want to know them, because I don't want people to think that they have to know everything to be able to do this business. Because if they think that, then they're going to wait until they try to know everything, and they're going to just become overwhelmed. And so Michael Klaus gave me this advice, and he said it's all about learning and doing, learning and doing. So you take one step with your right foot, and that's learning, and your other step is doing with your left foot. And if you do a lot of learning, right step, right step, right step, you're going to go in circles. Yeah. But if you go right step, left step, right step, you're gonna keep progressing. And so the biggest thing for me is I just continue to try to learn and be better than I was yesterday, and not to compare yourself to other people, because if I did that, my head would be bruised because he banged on the wall. I just realized that everybody's journey is unique, and the more we grow ourselves and learn about this, and just get ourselves plugged into getting better every day, I think that everybody's going to be successful as long as you don't quit. If you don't quit.
Yeah. What do you think makes them number one? What do you think makes them the top income earners in the company? Is it their system? Is it their hard work, their ethics? What do you think makes them stand out from the rest?
I think Michael and Lynn are amazing people and amazing leaders, but I think they keep things super simple.
Yeah.
They keep things super simple. And, you know, it's finding people to talk to, sharing the story, and teaching them how to do the same thing, you know, and just keeping it simple. And, you know, plugging them into learning about the products, you know, so different people have different systems. For our team, we have a page that we pop people into just to learn more about the products. When there's people that are interested in the business, we pop them into a page where they're interested in learning about the business. And, you know, we don't have to we don't have to try to recreate a Facebook page of your own for your own team. Like, plug into stuff in it. There's so much stuff in Isagenix that we can use to share, like Isagenix Business. It teaches people, go there, watch podcasts, learn there. There's things that we can follow to plug people into that really it just makes sense. We don't have to create something new.
Yeah,
just keeping
absolutely.
it simple.
I tell you, honestly, I signed up a trainer he was a manager at a gym. I won't say which gym in case he watches the replay, but he would talk to everyone about the ingredients and the structure and the makeup and the binary plan. And it was so complex that, the few people that he did sign on never did anything at all. And they probably thought that they needed a degree in anatomy because he liked to make himself sound so smart. And I noticed that, the millionaires in the company, you're right, they make it simple and they make it really easy. You want everyone to know that they can do this. So tell me, I have so many questions. I'm trying to keep it a little short. What is your favorite recruiting tool? Are you big on launch parties? Do you do Facebook? Where do you find leads for people to talk to?
I love Facebook. I love Facebook because you can get connected to so many people, cold and warm market, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. I'm definitely an extrovert, but there's times where I feel like I've kind of a combo. And I think that anybody can get comfortable with reaching out to people on Facebook and connecting with them. And one thing I'm finding, though, is that we have so many things through technology and Zoom that we can, social media is just amazing, but it's really not just connecting on Facebook. But I'm learning a lot about branding on Facebook and trying to get people to understand that you have something of value to share. I really, really love isamovie.com. I mean, I know it's old, but it's simple, but it's great. It's a great way, and not everybody has Facebook. I'm really loving Instagram as well. I think that many people are video oriented, so I'm really trying to get out of my comfort zone and have people follow me there on Instagram. But I'm learning that videos is definitely the wave of the future. So if you're comfortable with doing videos, or even if you're not, putting yourself out there and trying to share a little bit more about you and what you're doing with Isagenix, videos are really powerful.
Yeah. And what I like about you is that you're very honest and authentic. And I think that your brand is the fitness. And I know that if ever, like, I'm stuck at home like I was today on a cold, crappy, snowy day, I went to your page to get some exercise videos. And,
Awesome.
I think that that's your brand. And I think that, you know what, guys, we can't fake the funk. If I've never lifted a weight in my life, I'm not going to sit there and teach people how to do yoga videos or how to squat. You got to do things that kind of light a fire under you. If you love cooking, do a little quick 5-minute video on how to make a delicious meal.
Right.
Maybe you have some tips on, maybe you're good with the Pinterest stuff and arts and crafts for the kids or organization. People like free stuff, so you got to give them something of value to keep coming back to your page. So I think your page is wonderful and full of information. So I do stop by there frequently.
Awesome. Angela, I love what you said. So if I can have permission, I'd like to expand on that. I think that everybody has a gift, and you just need to know your gifts. And if you don't know your gifts, you need to ask people, what do you think I'm good at? Because just like you said about the cooking, let me give you an example. Somebody on our team started documenting her organizational skills in her house, and she showed her before and afters of her closets. And she had such a massive following that all these people were following her closet cleaning and her house stuff that has nothing to do with nutrition. But because of that, and she had posted other things that were health related, she was able to draw an audience from these people that were cleaning their houses and excited about her organizational tips.
Yeah.
And some of those people are now in her business because they were brought to her Facebook page because of something else that had nothing to do with health and nutrition.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have Monique, who's in our Blitz. She's friends with Jen Murgatroyd. Monique is a horse rider. She used to make fashion for horse riders. And what a unique, brand she has. So she took all these equestrians and she made a really funny, like, Facebook name. It was like Saddle Up or Fit to the Saddle, something very funny, very clever. But, she tied it in with the nutritional cleansing. The nutritional cleansing isn't her life. It wasn't just her passion, but she tied it in with things that work for her. And I think that branding yourself takes time. And honestly, when I first started this business, I don't know about you, but I went to ISA FYI recognition, and I literally hit the follow button for the top 50 income earners. I wanted to see what they were doing. What is Lynn posting? What is Michael posting? What are the Cepedas posting that separates them? What is their voice? And how can I find my own? And it takes time to find your own. If you're funny, don't stop being funny. If you're sarcastic, don't stop that. You've got to be you, but you'll figure out. But I've watched so many great Facebookers in isogenics until I grew into my own.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic, and I've picked some people to follow, because you really do get a lot of great ideas. But it is about being authentically you, and really helping people relate to you. And one thing that I've been learning recently is a lot of people, they want to know that you're flawed. They don't want to think that you're perfect all the time. So if that's how you appear on Facebook, then they can't relate to you. They want to know. I mean, you don't have to give your deepest, darkest secrets, but if you have something that you feel, this might connect with somebody, you'd be amazed. And do not pay attention to how many comments or likes you have, because there are so many people that have reached out to me that have never liked or commented on anything, and they reach out because they still follow your journey. Believe me, they are watching.
That's such a great point. I mean, on both ends, people are watching even if they never comment. And I don't know if you guys know Jen Lenz, Lenz. She was the spin teacher from Canada. She was the one that had that bikini picture in the black and white, and then she lost all the weight. She became an ISA body finalist, but it was only when she posted a picture, a vulnerability picture, and say, you know what, this is my time to admit I gained 25 pounds. I feel like butt, and I am ready to get back on. It was that particular post that got her maybe 600 likes she had. People will always cheer for the underdog. Nobody likes perfect. When somebody comes out and says, that they have, hormone issues or thyroid issues and they can't lose weight. I mean, and then they show that this weight loss picture, people are cheering. People are so happy for the underdog. So perfection is not pretty. Nobody can relate to perfection. But Corey Kinnear said, like, the more onions you peel back, the more of your vulnerability that you expose, the more people will like you and relate to you, because we're all, people relate to the pain, not the perfection.
That's right. That's true. Yep.
So
I think it really does take a lot to be vulnerable. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that we want to appear a certain way, but if that's our way of connecting with people, we have to think about how we connect with people. And there's people that we come to that we know brings us to tears because they were real and raw, and we want to be that way too. So people really do want that.
Yeah, well, think about this. If our coaches didn't post on Facebook, how many of us would be here? If our coaches didn't have the courage to share a little bit of their journey, my life would be completely different had the woman who posted her results not been brave enough to share her vulnerability, her story. So it's a big deal. You cannot be afraid to share. And what I have really found is that everyone you talk to, they will come around when they're ready. They all come around when they're ready. And another great thing is that, you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. And when your friend approached you, you were ready. You were ready. You've heard about so many different protein shakes, but at that point, you were just ready to receive it. And you did.
And I think the same thing goes for the business. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And then it was like, okay, my daughter's 3.5. I need to learn about this because I had great results and people were asking me. So then I said, well, how do I start? So when do I enroll my husband and somebody else? I had people that were ready to enroll and I still hadn't enrolled them. And she goes, well, when do you want to start making some money? I said, well, now. She said, well, then let's enroll them. Like, then you need to enroll them. So I didn't want people running from me, but I was so hungry and passionate, and I had a why. And it wasn't until it was like my daughter was 3.5 that I said, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And my husband, you got to share this with your, if it's something that you're interested in, you got to share it with somebody that you care about, because he said, when you go to Celebration, he said, you need to come back and know whether this is something you want to do. And I couldn't believe it, but I did have his support right from the beginning. So that was huge.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you know what, I don't think anything changed, but the fact that you were just bold enough and you said, I'm going to do it. I don't even care what people think.
Yeah.
Their thoughts won't change. The comp plan won't change. Your results haven't changed. It's when you get to a point where you say, the hell with it. They're going to talk anyway. Let them talk. I might as well be home with the kids.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. It's just, it's freedom. Yeah. And, we're not at a certain star yet or whatever. We're where we are at in the company, but it's enough right now for me to be able to stay home. We've paid off our debt, and my husband and I are going to start, we're meeting with a builder to build our dream home, next week. So, we're going to be able to have a bigger home for our 3 little kids that are kind of outgrowing our house right now. So
I love it. I love it so much. And Isagenix bought our dream home, and you know what? You got to keep going and keep pushing. So give me one last piece of advice. We have a lot of people on the call who hit Crystal Manager.
Awesome.
Now we are together rocking to Crystal Director. So I have a lot of people here that are financially linked to me, and some are not. Some are just doing a blitz together. And we're all really pushing for that Crystal Director and Director Reset.
Me too.
Yeah. So give me a piece of good, solid advice.
Okay.
Put on the Michael Klaus hat and give me some good mentoring.
It's doing the simple things over and over again.
Yes.
It's just doing the simple things over and over again. And consistency. I mean, I think I used to think I'm going to prospect 50 to 100 people today. And then I'd be like overwhelmed and I wouldn't have time to follow up with them. And it wasn't consistent. And once I found consistently talk to this many people a day and ask them to have a look at Isagenix.
Yeah.
Ask 5 people a day. Follow up with 5 people a day. Love on your team 5 or more people a day. Develop yourself personally. Find that 15 to 20 minutes a day where you can develop yourself with a book or a podcast or meditation or prayer or something that's going to make you feel better as a person. You have to work on you, and you have to do the consistent mundane things over and over again. And while they're mundane, that's what builds our business.
Yeah, I love it. And guys, this is advice that we hear over and over. I mean, how many leads are you going to create today? For me, it's 3 a day. How many people are you going to share your story with 3 a day? How many people are you going to reach down to in your team and love on them and cast the vision? For me, it's 3 a day. I mean, these are, whether you do 3 a day or 5 a day, these are simple things. And this, folks, this doesn't leave my desk. Do you have yours? I am constantly working on this sucker. I had 8 and then 2 fell off and I said, shit, I got to make 2 more. And you cross them out and you find 2 more. And this is a work in action to find your executive team, your board of directors. Folks, they are going to fall off. New ones are going to come. This one says she wants to do it, and then she'll go into the witness protection program. Who's got diarrhea? Who doesn't want to work hard? Who's against network marketing? You don't have time to analyze the crazy. You got to go, go, go.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
right.
I love it. I love it. So
Well, the other piece of advice I would give is when people raise their hand, like I got so frustrated because so many people said they wanted it, but they didn't show the activity. So you really just got to run with the people that want to run. And really, I mean, you support everybody and love on everybody, but you go with the people that want to go and you link arms with them hard and you really protect your energy.
yeah.
Because there's so many people that are going to grab you all different times, and you've got to keep your energy high so that you can give.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I do to match energy for energy? I give someone an assignment. I say, you want to do this? Great. Let's put down 50 names on a piece of paper and call me within 24 hours. If they call me, I'm ready to take it to step 2. Great. Here's what we're going to do. Let's schedule some 3-ways. If they don't call me, I'm not going to be pounding them. I want to match energy for energy. I don't want to give 100% of my heart and soul when somebody's like, maybe I'll call her, maybe I won't. You know, I like that. Protect yourself because it's important. Your time, your energy, your heart. So does anybody have any questions for Rebecca? You can just raise your hand or give me a wave or just I think you all can unmute. Anyone have any questions? Comments?
Awesome.
They're shy. They're a little
We
shy.
answered everything.
Angela, I have a question.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
Regarding I guess it's considered like an 18-hour cleanse that you were talking about, the overnight one.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you'll probably see like a re-energize and a reboost. Is it good for people who are obviously looking from a weight loss perspective to drop some pounds? Is it the equivalent to like a 1-day morning to night cleanse?
Yeah, I like to start at night because then I know the next day. I think from a mental standpoint, a lot of people like to look forward to at the end of the day. I just have to get to the end of the day and then I get to have that shake. But I can lose 3 to 4 pounds just in that period of time. It's a lot of it's water weight and inflammation. So it kind of resets your body. But then I have a rebound effect of like maybe a pound or 2. So I may lose a couple of pounds, but then once I get the food back in my body, I'm going to gain a couple of pounds back. But you can still definitely lose weight with that. And you're also burning fat too during that period. Because if you start at night and your last meal is at 5, for your first 12 hours, your body's burning through those sugars. And then after that, you're burning through fat. So there's still going to be a phase where you're burning through the fat because your toxins all your sugars have you burned through that? So you have to use your fat as energy. So there's still going to be a period of time that the fat is going to be burned. And then the longer that person waits for the shake, if they wait until 8 or 9 o'clock at night, then they're going to get 3 or 4 hours of fat burning. If they have their shake at 5, then it's not as much time, but it's still very good for people that are trying to use it for weight loss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca, do you drink a gallon of water every day?
I drink 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons a day.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing in terms of weight loss as well. I see that the people who don't drink a lot of water, they struggle most with results. People who don't have a hard time with the water, they drop weight, they stay slender, they are better at maintaining. So the water is very, very important because I have done
Critical.
A cleanse, and on a 2-day cleanse, I won't drink any water and I won't lose anything. If I don't drink.
The other thing too is that I love Isa coffee. I drink it all the time. I drink it all the time. And, just because it doesn't dehydrate me and because the pH is higher. So even on my normal days, people might think that you have to drink more water because you're drinking that coffee, but it's great for me for energy. I don't think I lack any, and I love the taste of it. But I don't drink artificial sweeteners. I don't drink pop. I don't drink Gatorade, Powerade, any of that. If I want to have something sweet, I'm going to have Hydrate or I'm going to throw it in my shake.
Yeah. Kathy Coover taught me a little trick that she scoops a little kosher vanilla into her coffee.
Oh, yeah. I have never tried that. That might be.
It's like a nice little creamer.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to try that.
Did someone else have a question? I thought Irina. Did you have a question, Irina?
I just wanted to tell Becky that this is an awesome call, that your transformation is insane. Your story is incredible, and you're just such a humble person. And I really love this call. And thank you for all the great info.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is one of my favorites. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay.
I don't have any questions, but I just want to say thank you so much. I competed my first day. I'm one of the blitzers. I'm not on the team. My name is Swanee. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I competed November last year in NGA for the first time. And my coach didn't want me to cleanse and stuff like that. So I closet cleansed right before the competition. I got the leanest. My posing coach was telling me, he's like, day by day, he's like, you've gotten leaner from one day to the next. I go, I know, the macros must be working. So I just wanted to, like, I was like sitting there because it was my first time. I'm like, am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? I had a protein shake the day before. They're like, you shouldn't have had one. And I placed third in open masters. I'm 46 years old when I did it. So it was kind of cool. And
Awesome.
to listen to you say all of this was like verified, a rookie like me. So I'm excited about that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'm going to unmute everyone and let's get Becky up.
It has a lot of nutritional benefits.
Thank you so much for being on.
Doing something like that as a detox.
I love you. Thank you for coming on.
Highly recommended. I have people that are like really intense.
Thank you.
And if you guys are looking for some good workouts, follow her page.
People that need to lose 5 pounds.
Bye, everyone.
Good night. Bye.
I'll put my name on here.
I tagged you on the calls, so they'll find it.
Cool.
You were doing a juice cleanse, right?
Who's doing a juice cleanse? Ed Golden is prospecting mid-call right now.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
You're comparing apples and oranges.
I'm gonna record it.
You're comparing apples and oranges. There's an actual science behind the isogenics cleanse. One, you're getting more nutrition on a cleanse than most people do on a regular diet.
Becky, this is how a New Yorker
You're eating chocolates and you're snacking to keep your blood sugar stable. That's very important.
Girl,
So essentially what you're doing on this cleanse is you're functioning strictly on metabolism while resting your digestive system. And that's why most people feel have more energy on cleanse days than they do on shake days. Because if we could see metabolism, it'd be like a kid on crack in a playground. It's just running around. You know what I mean? It's just
Maybe not crack, but
but I mean, you get what I'm saying. That's what metabolism.
so funny. Tammy, you got to message him.
yes,
Yeah.
that's what he meant.
Yeah.
All right, good night,
That's
everyone.
what he meant. Good night.